I'm here with Alex Marks, who's head of international business marketing at eBay. Mr. Marks, what are your impressions with Webit so far?
I think it's been brilliant. It's really, really impressive. I was here last year, and it's got even better. So good lineup, good speakers. Yeah, really well done.
How did the global economic downturn change e-commerce?
I think what it meant is that people started to. I think just more people started to use the internet for, looking for value, whereas perhaps they might not have considered it. I think it also allowed people to form, like-minded groups of people who may have been up against it, may have lost their jobs. So the internet in itself allow those people to come together and try and help one another. I think from an e-commerce perspective, it probably benefited us in the long term, in the sense that it allowed people to start exploring what e-commerce might be good for them at a time when they were looking to get value, and but now that they're using it and the economy is, there's an upturn now, that benefits us a lot more. So.
And how did it affect digital advertising?
How did what affect digital advertising?
The economic downturn.
It slowed it down. The growth was still positive, but it was much less than it had been.
How do you expect e-commerce to develop?
I think e-commerce itself will just become much more prevalent. I don't think it will take over the high street. I think for some goods and services it will always dominate. I think for others it won't. I think the market will find a balance, and that will be a healthy balance. I think also we'll see e-commerce moving across to mobile platforms as well, because often people are out and about and they think they want to buy something, and the ability to do so when they are from a mobile device is going to start to take off, I think, in the future.
And how will eBay develop its advertising services?
eBay will always look to develop its advertising services alongside the overall strategy for the business, which is to continue to deliver trust, value and selection for its buyers and sellers, and advertising has a really important part to play in that. So any services we develop will be within that framework, ensuring that it's as integrated as possible, that it adds to the seller experience, to the buyer experience, and delivers great value for all parties.
And what is your forecast for the growth of advertising on eBay for the next few years?
I think we'll see strong positive growth.
How do you think digital advertising will evolve?
Digital advertising will evolve. That's the broadest question. You might as well say, how do you think human beings will evolve? It'll just become, do you know what? It won't be called digital advertising. It'll just be advertising. Most things will become digital. Whether it's television, it's cinema, press, all the content we consume will go onto digital platforms, will become more mobile. There'll still be a case for sitting around a television and watching shows. That's not going to go away. But digital advertising per se will just become advertising. And we won't even be having this conversation about digital in 5 years' time.
And my last question, how is the attitude of brands to e-commerce changing?
Very positively. At eBay, it's quite a nascent, young business, eBay advertising, and we've had, there's been challenges that's brought for us, but increasingly we're seeing more and more brands start to get what the opportunity is. Only last week we've had new brands like Honda, O2, signing up. BMW, brands that before were like, well, no, this is not for us, we're a quality, and actually they start to realise that there's an opportunity there, that they should be talking to people whilst they're looking to buy, which they already do that offline. They wouldn't have any problem with advertising in a shop by the till or by a big display. They wouldn't have a problem with that. So they've now got to get their heads around the fact that actually online the behaviour is the same. The channel it's being delivered is slightly different, but the outcome will be exactly the same if they get it right. So they're starting to react very positively.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.